Okay, hi people, this is Debbie Davis. Okay, so I'm doing an update from a couple of days ago. I'm doing better, and I apologize for that video where I was really upset and on the phone, and I am doing better. And I appreciate all of the emails that I've gotten since I was on Sarah's show. A lot of support, so I really appreciate that. And I'm going to start doing more videos explaining more of my story and So I have a lot more to talk about, but I just wanted to. So I got my little baby back. This is my fur baby. I wanted to introduce to everybody. This is Pearl, and she's been my doggie for 7 years now. She was a rescue and immediate bond, and I right. Say hi, Pearl. Say hi, Pearl. Hi, everybody. Sweetie. So, I called her Pearl because I always like the story of a pearl, of how a pearl is made. Because if you don't know the story of the in the ocean, when an oyster, the way that an oyster makes a pearl, it's just a grain of sand that gets in to the oyster, and then it starts creating, because of the agitation, it starts creating this serum, and it turns into a pearl. And I heard this sermon one time that was talking about how if there was never any agitation or irritation, there would have never been any pearl. So that's kind of like my life story. Like, like if there wasn't any adversity in my life, then sometimes if there's not adversity and there's not all kinds of stuff going on, then you can't get through to the other side to create a pearl. Okay, so I always loved that story, and that's why I called her Pearl. And she's helped me with this PTSD. You know, I had PTSD from deployment, but the uh, all of the trauma that they've caused me, I mean, they have created more. And any whistleblower that has gone through anything similar that I've gone through knows exactly what I'm talking about. And this is not okay, this has to stop. And I wanted to explain that yes, President Trump has helped me, because I've gotten several emails, or comments saying, have you contacted President Trump? Yes, of course, he knows. He knows. The problem is the same people are after President Trump that have been after me, because it wasn't just a military crime that I uncovered. It involved human trafficking. So it involves the people that have been involved in high-level human trafficking, and that's why I was originally on. So it's the same people after President Trump. It's the deep state or the illuminati, and those are the people that have been after me. Okay, so that's why it's been so serious and gone on for so long, is they don't want me to talk about this. Yes, this should have never happened on a military base, absolutely, and that's the problem. It's embarrassing for our country, and it should have never happened, and somebody should have stopped John McCain, but nobody did. They were so afraid of him. He was terrifying. So that's what happened, and but President Trump has done all kinds of stuff to try to help. It just goes so far up, and I can get into that on another video, but absolutely he's done a lot of things to help me, and I have a pending lawsuit against the Arizona Guard, and it was stuck in the Ninth Circuit, which hopefully, I'm sure a lot of people know how corrupt the Ninth Circuit has been. So that was one of the problems there. And so anyway, but I wanted to get into a couple more things, and oh, some people have told me that some of the people that are involved in these type of scams, like if they call the animal control. Some of these people, I mean, it's just so weird, because I was only in a place of business for about 15 minutes. I was like, how would somebody care so much in 15 minutes or pay so much attention to me sitting there when I was only there for like, I could see if I was in a place for hours or something, but this is like 15 minutes. So somebody said that agreed with me that it's like some of these people are actually paid to call animal control like it's a total scam, like it's a paid operation, like they're paid actors, kind of like what's happening in Washington, Alexander, that um, OAC lady. I mean, she's the same kind of thing. So, um, anyway, I wanted to explain that, but so I think that's what happened, honestly, because I mean, it just is so bizarre that I was only in there for such a short time, and I get out in my car, my dog is taken after 15 minutes. I mean, she's fine, thank God. And you're right, Pearl? Yeah, she's fine, and nothing's wrong with her, and she's just as sweet as can be, a little snuggle bunny. And but anyway, so thankfully for that. But I wanted to explain that, and then I wanted to also explain that, with this impeachment thing, um, this is uh, this is crazy. What's going on with this game that they're playing? President Trump is not going to be impeached. Okay, this Nancy Pelosi and the House just own the House. They're trying to put this through the House of Representatives, but we own the Senate. The Republicans took control of the Senate. So what's going to happen is it's going to be blocked in the Senate. Okay, so it's not going to go through. That's why it was so important a few months back that we secured the Senate with Republicans, and he was doing all those rallies, and he secured all these Republican senators, he's doing all these rallies, and that was part of why that was so important a few months back, to secure the Senate and get the Republicans in there, Republican senators replaced by Democrat senators in several states. So that's why it was so important that, because whatever the House, these crazy people in the House, like Nancy Pelosi, are trying to do, it'll just be blocked in the Senate. Okay, so that's why that was so important, is my understanding. And I personally think Nancy Pelosi is just a demon. I mean, I think she's fully, completely part of this whole human trafficking, pedophilia, and somebody even told me that they think, that she might even be in the Book of Revelations, where they talked about the whore in the Book of Revelations, the whore. Okay, there's a whore talking about it. I wouldn't be surprised if it was her. I think she's awful. I think she's totally demonic, and I think we're living in biblical days for sure. And I think, Trump, and I think Trump is the last trumpet talked about in the Bible. I absolutely do think that. I think this is the last straw. I don't think we're at the end of days yet, but I think this is the last trumpet. I absolutely do. And so, and then um, and I also wanted to mention that I had mentioned on Sarah's show that I was on this guy Daniel Lee's show before I was on her show, and that was several months back. And he's the guy that is exposing human trafficking, and he's got the show called Spirit and Torah, and he's got the beard. He's from Alaska, and he's exposing all kinds of stuff about this human trafficking and pedophilia. So if you want to go to his channel and look up what the videos I've done so far, I haven't had a chance to upload all of those on my YouTube channel. I'll have to figure out how to do that, but you can look it up under um, Arizona Guard soldier exposing child trafficking. That's the first one I did, and that was in February of this year. And then I did another one with my friend that is trying to expose the corruption in South Dakota with me. Her name is Laura Hubble. So you can look up that video, and that would be South Dakota State Representative and Arizona National Guard whistleblower. And that was on Daniel Lee's channel. So you can look up those videos if you want to see some of the other ones I've done. And I've also been on a couple Facebook Live shows with a couple people, and I'll try to see if I can get that put up on my channel too, somehow too. But there's all kinds of things to talk about that I'll get into later. And I have pictures of the different things that happen with my sheriff. And yeah, I have proof that I'll share in the next video that I got a threatening email, a threatening text message when I tried to reach out to a few soldiers, explaining what I was going through after I exposed the after I exposed the fraud. I got, I was trying to I had like a list of, when you work there for several years, you're on lists of like, you have a list of phone numbers of different contacts you used to work with and stuff like that. And I had texted a bunch of people and I said, I'm being like harassed like crazy ever since I reported that fraud, and blah, 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 blah. And some people on that list, and I just haven't figured out who they are, were were part of the problem. And they texted me back and they threatened me and they said, "We know where you live. We know you own a water business. You need to shut up." And we've called the McPherson County Sheriff. And so I have this all in text message, this threatening. So all of this stuff started with there in Arizona. I have it right on there. They said, "We know where you live. We know what county you live. You need to shut up," that kind of thing. And so I have all that, and I'm going to share that on a video. So it all started with this, and they got, the corrupt police out there got my corrupt sheriff in McPherson County involved in harassing me, continuing the harassment after I moved out of Arizona. It's like I can't get away from it. And and I know, and the other thing I wanted to say is that, I fully know that there's a difference between good cops and bad cops. Okay, so this is a big deal. Like, and what people are writing into me is that the good cops are afraid to report the bad cops. Okay, because apparently a lot of the bad cops are a part of these secret societies, like these Masons. The ones that are after me in South Dakota are all Masons. They're all involved in the Masonic temple, which Daniel Lee has exposed is that the Masons have been involved in human trafficking for centuries. So those are the type of cops that have been after me. And so they're all involved. The good cops, I'm sure, are probably, rightfully so, probably afraid to say something because apparently the bad cops are a lot of times are part of brotherhoods or secret societies. And so they're afraid to say something, apparently. And so what I had sent back to this person on my YouTube channel is that, President, in my opinion, hope maybe President Trump can set up some kind of a set something up where people feel comfortable in reporting the bad cops. Some kind of safe hotline or something, or something like that where they can help report the bad cops too, so they don't have to feel threatened. So that's my idea, to take care of this because I don't want it to come across like I'm anti-cop because I mean, obviously there'd be lawlessness completely, and that's not what I'm saying. But I just don't understand how. I think it's wrong that the bad cops, because they have way too much power and they have these weapons, and a lot of times they have more than one weapon. And I was in the military for 15 years or more, and the police academy, you have 9 weeks of training. I mean, some of them have years on the streets and everything, don't get me wrong, but I'm saying that I didn't, in the military, I didn't have the power and the authority to ruin anybody's life, over a traffic stop. They can ruin your life in one traffic stop if it gets out of control. If it escalates or something. It can just, and I still don't even know what I was pulled over for the other day. I still have no idea why they pulled me out of my car, and there was apparently a warrant for my arrest. I still have no idea. I was trying to get a hold of the court, and then they don't return a phone call. I mean, how can you even deal with this kind of thing? You can't even get a clear answer of why you were even arrested. I'm sorry, how am I supposed to go to court if I don't even know why I was even arrested for? This is the same thing that Timothy Homestead is dealing with in Minnesota, and I think he's finally getting some relief there. But they just make up charges, and then you're supposed to just be forced to go into their kangaroo court for this made up charge. I mean, it's wrong, and the justice system is part of the huge problem in our country right now because bail is the god over the justice system. The bail, it's been an issue for a long time. This is all a satanic stronghold in several different areas. And so, um, anyway, okay, so I'll do more videos later, but I just wanted to give a little update, and I have lots more I'll share later. Thank you. Thank you very much.